First, I just want to thank the environmental permits and support staff for including Commission Shift in conference calls with industry associations and companies to discuss revisions to the waste management forms, even though they weren't approved today. It's a welcome departure from how things started out in 2022 with closed-door meetings that the public and environmental groups weren't invited to regarding the Chapter 4 revisions. Last month, the Railroad Commission issued a press release applauding an analysis by S&P Global Commodity Insights, reporting a 50% reduction in methane emissions per barrel of oil produced over a 2-year period. The study was conducted using flyover data collected by Insight-M that covered more than 80% of the actively operating wells in the Permian Basin, as well as publicly available satellite data. These results are promising, and I hope that their reductions continue in future decades. But what if they don't? Will oil and gas operators continue to pay for analysis from companies like Insight-M to collect data for them? Regulatory oversight of data sets like this would generate more public trust in the data over the long term. Additionally, this data should be produced statewide, not only in the Permian Basin. It's worth noting that the S&P analysis focuses on unburned methane emissions, not flaring. We need to see efforts from regulators to significantly reduce both methane emissions and routine flaring. The Texas Methane and Flaring Coalition, made up of Texas-based industry associations representing both major and independent oil and gas operators, has set a goal to end routine flaring by 2030. Ending routine flaring is important not only because of the climate warming emissions it generates, but also because of the health impacts it causes. In South Texas, far from the Permian Basin, studies have found that women in the Eagle Ford Shale living next to high rates of flaring experience 50% higher odds of preterm birth. The role of the regulator in collecting and protecting flaring and emission data is important and should provide an unconflicted view of industry operations that the public can trust. Lastly, and on a completely different topic, I keep hearing from community members across the state who have spoken out against pollution in their communities, and they have had their jobs threatened or been told that they would disappear if they continued to speak out. This kind of intimidation by leaders or workers at oil and gas companies is unacceptable. As elected officials leading the state's oil and gas industry, a statement from the railroad commissioners discouraging violent threats and intimidation could go a long way toward keeping Texas communities safe. Thank you.